Hey everyone, welcome back to the Busted Grill Garage. Today is going to be part one of Roofus Goes on a Diet. And I've also got a couple of goodies over there to test fit to see if we can make them work. So see if we can get Roofus pulled back up into the garage here, and I'm going to get started. So I want to know something. Have you guys ever seen the rain? Well, I have. It's kind of cold right now, actually. But that's why I'm not working on junk outside today. Definitely getting this up in the garage. So, ooh, that's wet. See if we can get this old 350 fired up, get it pulled up in the garage. Hopefully transmission's still doing transmission things. Hadn't been moved in a week, but hopefully we've got enough transmission to get up here. So hop in, get you guys in there with me, see if we can get it fired up. We're just gonna ignore the fact that it's raining inside the car and worry about right off the get-go. I think we might have got something figured out with this carburetor last week. Got Roofus back in the shop, and actually the thing fired up. First little hit of the button that says bring the fender. Never had any issues out of it today. So first time in months I've been able to get in it and fire it up and do whatever I need to with it without having issues out of it. So today, these little 75-pound a piece paperweights of inner fenders are going to be gone. So I'm going to get this thing up in the air, bust this tire off. I'm going to get the passenger side out first, and then once I get the passenger side out, we're going to take a little break from inner fender removalage, and then we're going to try to fit a different set of headers. Now these headers are a Schoenfeld, and they're actually made to fit a Chevrolet square body pickup. So I've got these borrowed, and just based off of what they fit, you could probably guess who I borrowed them off of. Yep, Chad over at Square Body Stuff. He's like, come get them, see if they fit the car. That way you know what you need to get. Because as you can imagine, punching in on the Google, 67 Impala fender well headers, you don't get very far. So I'm thinking Nova headers will probably fit. Tri-5 headers will probably actually fit. But I'm going to try these. Well, you get the point. I want to try these pickup headers first. See if they'll fit. Because they're going to be a lot less expensive than Nova headers or Tri-5 headers or Chevelle headers or whatever. My only real concern with them is going to be brake line coming off the master cylinder. I think we'll clear steering box all right, or we should. My only concern is going to be that brake line coming off the master cylinder and the proportioning valve.
So here's where we're at, and I don't particularly like it. This car's a lot more rotten than what I ever thought it was. So check it out.
So I've got all of our easy to get to bolts out. However, there are still all of these around the outside. And well, yeah, and it gets all the way up in there. And bolts are just, they got a cage nut behind them, and they're just spinning with the cage nut. So I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna have to refasten that to the core support once we get the inner fender pulled out. That way, you know, have some rigidity ties in the front fender. And then we are gonna have to do that back here as well, because, well, it's not good. But I'm gonna keep going, see if we can get this thing tore out of here. So what happens is, every one of these bolts that hold this inner fender in, it's got one of these little nuts on the back side of it. It's actually tack welded or plug welded, or however these are welded, onto the inner fender. That way, you know, you don't have to have a wrench or anything on the back side of it to try to get these bolts loose. Well, what happens is, the car sits for 30 years and gets rusty, and the welds break on them as soon as you try to back the bolt out. So then you're stuck trying to get a pair of vice grips on them or get a wrench on the back side of them and get a bolt out that way. And that's what we've been fighting for the last half the morning. But just got a couple left, and they're right there, fairly easy to get to. So just a couple more bolts and we should be able to wrestle this inner fender out of here. Well, we've got some good news and I've got some bad news. Good news is, inner fender's out, wiring's tucked up, and it actually doesn't look too bad. The bad news is, fender exits for a square body Chevrolet pickup are a no-go. To begin with, they're hitting brake line coming off the master cylinder, but that can be moved out of the way. Second problem is, we don't have frame clearance if they were to fit, and it would only get worse if these were further down into where they're supposed to be. So the square body Chevy pickups, their frame, it's just front to back, straight shot, no bends, no nothing. And that's a problem, because this B-body Chevrolet is obviously not built the same way. So the issue that we have, you can see frame comes here, then it comes back out where the body mounts are, and that's where we're hitting with our header. So square body Chevy pickup, fender exit headers or fender well headers, no go. The search is going to have to continue, I'm afraid. It's just going to come down to me buying a set of Chevelle headers or Nova headers or something like that, something that the frame is designed similarly on. So that kind of sucks, but now we know, and I'm gonna have to get some ordered. So I'm gonna get this put back together with the old long tubes that we had on here, get it put back together, and then get inside
and see if we can't get a bench seat dragged out. So I'm beginning to sense a theme with this car as of right now, and that would be make other junk fit this junk. Because for a seat, yeah, I had a 94 Camaro a couple years ago, bought this Corbeau seat for it with, you know, the seat tracks and everything. It bolted right into the car. Anyway, sold the car, kept the seat, and now the seat is going in Roofus if we can make it fit. We're going to make it fit. So let's see how far we can get with that today, and see if we can get a seat put in this thing. So here's what we got going on. We've got one bolt hole that's actually going to line up, if it weren't for the fact that the floor pan covers up half the bolt hole. This second front one here is actually still a part of this cross brace that runs all the way across here. And then we've got this third bolt hole here that's going to line up if we drill a hole. However, got this going on, so not 100% sure what we're going to do there just yet, but let's get this bolted in, at least with the one bolt, and get the seat mounted in here and see how centered we are with the steering wheel, and see if forward and back is all right. Seat's in. Well, seat's kind of in. I've got to make a spacer that's a little bit more sophisticated than that, but luckily both holes lined up, so seat's in good shape. We just got to finish it up. It's probably going to be at a later date though. Next step, we're gonna de-door card the thing because, well, you see. So I'm gonna get you guys set up and get started on this. All right, guys, so it is getting kind of late tonight, so I'm going to finish this here. I actually got a lot done today, and door cards being one of them. Corbo seat mounted, and there'll be more to that coming up soon. But next time I have the chance to work on this, I want to dive back under the hood, get the battery moved out to the trunk, get new cables ran, junction block, yada, 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 all that jazz. Then get the other inner fender out. And after that, probably come back, get the seat permanently mounted, and then take it right back out, because that's the right thing to do. We need a transmission tunnel. That's kind of not optional. So get something built there. I have an idea for that. I kind of want to do a removable with nut zerts and get real jiggy with it and get fancy and all that good stuff. But we'll see kind of where it takes us. I need to put toe boards in it as well. I'm going to take the rear door cards out as well. And then, well, see back here, this little sheet metal thing that weighs like a solid 50 pounds. We're going to switch that up a little bit, try to lighten that up just a little bit, make it look a little nicer as well. But I'm going to finish this off tonight. It feels great to actually be working on this car again after it's sitting for 6 months. But I'm going to finish it off for the night. I appreciate you guys sticking around and watching this with me, or for me, with me. Watching this video. Thank you. If you like what you're seeing, like, share, subscribe. Trying to make a push for the No Name Nationals this September. I believe it's the 21st through the 23rd at Jeffers Motorsports Park in Sikeston, Missouri. Same place it was last year. And Roofus is going to be there this year. I'm going to make sure Roofus is there this year. So I'm going to end it off here, guys. I appreciate you guys watching, and have a good night, guys.